All right, today we are going to be talking about how to graphically solve constant acceleration or uniform acceleration problems. And this video in particular is going to be about solving these problems without the kinematic equations. So we'll be using only velocity graphs and graphical definitions instead. So before we get to our examples, a few things to remember about solving problems this way. The examples I do here in this video will only be done on velocity time graphs. Now on your assessments, you won't be given a completed graph, but I will provide you with some blank graphs to work with. And while this approach works and has easier math to it, there's a caveat there. You've got to be able to take a question and draw a correct velocity graph based on the given values and that the problem tells you. And we'll be doing some of that in this video so you can see how that's done. The second thing is that you must also remember that acceleration is defined as the slope of a velocity time graph. So you must be able to find the slope of a graph in order to take this route of solving questions. And lastly, you also have to remember that the displacement an object undergoes is found by determining the area beneath its velocity time graph, which we have discussed in class during the constant acceleration unit. What's different in the constant acceleration unit, however, is that since we have acceleration, our graphs will no longer yield rectangles as displacement areas. We'll need to be prepared to solve for the area of a triangle instead. Here's a quick look at our math toolbox for the stuff we'll be talking about in this video. So feel free to come back here and pause and jot this stuff down so you can reference it later. But essentially just know how to find the slope of a graph. And here we'll be using the rise over run method or the rise over run algorithm. And on the other hand, for displacement, recall that for constant velocity, we typically used the area of a rectangle equation, base times height, to determine the area. In this unit, we'll have to be prepared for triangles. So we'll be using also the triangle equation for area, 1/2 base times height. And one way that I remember this is that for a right triangle is really just half of a full rectangle. So if you're thinking about how to remember this, if you remember that a rectangle has base times height for its area, then a right triangle has an area of 1/2 base times height that we can use for our area calculations. And here's our first example. Our car begins at rest and uniformly accelerates to a velocity of 50 meters per second in 5 seconds. And we'll have to determine the acceleration of the car and also determine the displacement of the car. First order of business is to take the givens and construct a accurate velocity time graph that correctly describes the text in the problem. Now this is what the velocity versus time graph looks like with the values that the problem tells us. Our initial velocity is 0, and that is told to us by the word at rest. Okay, so you want to use your context clues in order to extract any extra information. Not all the time will we give you numbers. Sometimes you're going to have to read into the problem to access certain givens. And then we also know that by 5 seconds, the car will have reached a velocity of 50 meters per second. So if we have a uniform acceleration, what this allows us to do is draw this straight line here because it's uniformly or evenly gaining velocity over the 5 seconds. Okay, so here we can connect the dots and we get a straight line, and this is the graph that we're going to be working with. The best way to use vocab in physics is right here, I think. Use your vocab to rephrase questions so that you know what you're doing in the context of the math. So in other words, you want to be able to use vocabulary in a way that gives you some meaningful insight on what must be done to solve the problem. So when we say find the acceleration of this object, we also mean to find the slope of the line on a velocity time graph. Note, it's extremely important that you know what kind of graph you're looking at and what kind of graph you've made. These color swaps here will no longer be true if you're referring to any other type of graph. So you got to make sure you're looking at a velocity graph. Let's find this, the slope real quick here. Choosing 2 points, I like to go with the ends here. Okay, and I also like to go with the rise over run equation for the slope. So for the run, once I select my 2 points, I'll go from the left point to the right point. How much of the horizontal axis has changed? So in this case, we go from 0 to 5, so our run is just 5 seconds. And then also we want to ask ourselves, okay, what was the rise? So some people will draw this here. I'll do that for this slide here. And then we want to ask ourselves, okay, what was the vertical change going from left dot to right dot? And here we find that the change was a positive 50 meters per second change. And what we get now is 10 meters per second for every 1 second. We have a change in velocity, or in other words, we have a velocity or acceleration of 10 meters per second for our acceleration. So notice that our acceleration or slope really is in line with the graph that we made. We found out that our acceleration is 10 meters per second. So every 1 second, we should be changing velocity plus 10, right? So notice that, right? Every 1 second, we go up 10. 1 second passes, we go up 10. 1 second passes, we go up 10. So that all makes sense. Now let's talk about solving for displacement. The displacement of an object during its travel can be obtained by finding the area beneath the curve on a velocity graph. Here we have a triangle to work with. So if you were to take a look at the area that is caught in between the data and the time axis and the time in question, so from 0 seconds to 5 seconds, this is the type of shape that we get, okay? So in the constant acceleration unit, we did have to solve for the area of a rectangle. In this unit, we've got triangles to deal with. So here, we want to declare that the displacement is given by the area. And then in this instance, we've got 1/2 base times height, again, because we are talking about a triangle. And we want to talk about then the dimensions of this triangle. This triangle has a base of 5 seconds and a height of 50 meters per second. Now what happens here with the calculation is the seconds will cancel out, which leaves us with meters left. Half of 50 is 25, and then the 5 left over times the 25 should give us 125 meters. So feel free to check or work along with me as this video goes on. But we do have a displacement of 125 meters during this time. So notice how there's a lot less math versus the kinematic equations way of solving. But you will need to be able to make a velocity time graph to go off of. Here's our second example. A rabbit's running at a velocity of 25 meters per second and speeds up uniformly to a velocity of 45 meters per second in 10 seconds. So the few givens that we are told is that the initial velocity is 25 meters per second. We know that in 10 seconds, we have this final velocity of 25 meters per second. Now fitting all of that into a graph, right, our initial velocity of 25 meters per second, final velocity of 45 meters per second occurring in 10 seconds. And this is what our velocity graph will look like. So again, using our vocab, now that we do have a completed velocity graph to reference, we're going to use our rise over run method again to find the slope of this line. And this time I'll draw the triangle over here, or the rise and run this way. So we've got a run of 10 seconds. And going from the left point to the right point, we had to do an increase in velocity. And if you check, if you start at 25 and you end at 45, your change in velocity is 20 meters per second in the positive. So here, for a rise over run, we got plus 20 meters per second over the course of 10 seconds. And this provided a change of plus 2 meters per second every 1 second, or in other words, 2 meters per second per second. All of these are acceptable to me. The second part of this question has us finding the displacement of the rabbit during this time. Now, here our question, or our task really becomes slightly more complicated, we'll say, or there's another step really. But if you take a look at this area that the data provides us, you'll see that we don't have a nice triangle to work with. Instead, what we have is a trapezoid. So what we'll have to do here is consider this as two shapes. So namely, I'm going to first treat this like a rectangle with a triangle that sits on top of it. Okay, if you have the formula for the area of a trapezoid memorized, more power to you. I personally do not, and it will suffice just to treat this as like two different shapes. So when we find our displacement, we do have to talk about the area, but in this case, what we have is area 1, the triangle, with area 2 right beneath it. Okay, very much like how when we derived the displacement equation. Okay, now for the triangle, we will use the 1/2 base times height equation, but for the rectangle, we only use the base times height because it's not a triangle. So for the triangle, we've got a base of the full amount, so the 10 seconds, so 1/2 10 seconds times a height of 20 meters per second. Okay, let's solve these pieces individually. So our first piece ends up, this ends up being 1/2 of 10 is 5, times 20, we will get 100 meters for that first shape there. Okay, now while we do have 100 meters for this, we still have to take care of A2, our rectangle. This one here has a base of 10 seconds and has a height of 25 meters per second. So again, our seconds will cancel just like they did before, leaving us with meters, and then we have 250 meters brought to the party from this rectangle. So when we do the total displacement for the whole 10 seconds, it's not just the 100, it's not just the 250, it's both of them added together. And that's how you would use a graphical definition to solve this problem. Our last example is a trickier problem, but here we'll talk about how you might use the idea of slope and area to find something other than area and displacement. So in this question, an otter initially starts at rest and accelerates uniformly for 8 seconds. During this time, they travel 100 meters in the positive direction. Notice that we will have to find the velocity of the otter after 8 seconds. And in the previous problem, the final velocity was given to us, same with the first one. So here we actually have to find a different value. And we'll talk about how you would do that in one of these cases. So what we'll do first is make a shape that we know is correct. So for instance, we know that our otter began at rest. So I'm going to place this green dot here. And then we also know that the otter moved for 8 seconds. So our next dot is going to be in line with this 8 somewhere. I'm just going to go up here. Notice that our velocity values are not told to us here because that's how I wrote this problem. And all we can really do is connect these dots because I did say that the velocity changed uniformly during the 8 seconds. Okay, so what we'll have to do here is talk about the dimensions of this triangle. And what we do have is a different set of information. So here, while we do have that the triangle is a right triangle, right, we do have to find the final velocity, knowing that the displacement this time is what's given to us. So here, this displacement, this area is going to be 100 meters. Okay, so if we know that the area of this triangle is 100 meters and we want to figure out the velocity, what we really then need to think about is what is the height of this triangle in order to give us the area of 100 meters inside. Okay, so let's just focus on figuring out the height of the triangle because really that's what this question is going to translate into if you're using your definitions of on a graph correctly. So here, while we do know that the displacement, again, is the area, we do start with that equation, right? This time, what we do know is that the displacement is 100 this time. And the area is 1/2 base times height still, right? And a base of 8 seconds. This time, the height is the thing that we don't know. So I'm going to put a placeholder v there because we know we have to dig that out, okay? So it turns out that when you solve this equation, this is going to be a 4 here. 4 seconds times v is equal to 100 meters. We can dig that v out. And for our velocity here, we have 25 meters per second after we do the division there. Okay, so that's how you would still use the area of a triangle equation to solve this problem, except you're just solving for a different part of the triangle. All right, and so wrapping up this problem, now that we have the height of the triangle, we also have the final velocity at 8 seconds. And if we have to determine the acceleration of the otter at this point, all we really need to do is then do the rise over run of this line, and the rise over the run. For the run, we have 8 seconds, and this change of time produced a change of velocity of plus 25 meters per second. Okay, so when you solve this, what this ends up coming out to is 3.125 meters per second for every 1 second, or you can just write 3.125 meters per second. All of these are okay with me. All right, so this is how you would solve uniform acceleration problems on a velocity graph with no kinematic equations, just using the definition of slope and area for a velocity graph. Hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in class.